Welcome to the Josh and Blake Late Night Show.
With your hosts, Josh and Blake. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
I feel like we should just get straight into it. We're coming from you live. The bad joke.
We're at
it's
Blake's
not going
house.
well. We're coming straight from
residence.
you live at the Hohen house.
Oh, that's funny, because that's my last name. Josh's last name is Rongyoni.
Anyway, we're not doing this again.
Gabe's last name is
It's
Leighton.
Anderson. It's Anderson.
Do you want
Gabriel
me to
Anderson.
bleep your last name?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, I'll forget.
Hold up. Why would you want your last name bleeped?
I actually don't care.
He doesn't want people at hearing that he's on a podcast.
God.
You're
Hey,
just making more work for you in the editing room.
This is always on you.
I do it every time.
It's a scary. Okay, so Blake's house. Blake lives in the bush.
I do.
So
That's
there's-
a koala you can hear at the moment.
Well, there is
I
a
hope
weird noise outside.
It spooks Gabe. Gabe's not used to Earth.
I'm a city.
Have you
boy.
ever lived in the bush?
Yeah, from when I was 6 till I was 14. I
Really?
was out. Yeah, I was out in Colomulla.
Colomulla.
Yeah.
That sounds unbelievable to the point of not believing you.
Oh, it was only weekends.
Oh, that's
Fly in, fly out.
Fly in, fly. Okay,
that's not
yeah.
true.
No, I lived
Were you
in.
there?
I
Were you?
actually resided in Isa for a time, Mount Isa, for a time.
Isa.
But I still went to school at in Murphy's Creek. But that was just
What a
through
school.
Wait, you know there's
years
people.
5 to
you know there's
7.
people who live in Wagga Wagga, but then when asked where they live, they say, "Oh, Wagga." It just annoys me
Why?
because it's like they're embarrassed to say the name twice.
Where do you
It's
live?
a name so nice
Wagga?
you say it
Toowoomba.
twice.
Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. Where's that? Oh, Darling
know.
Downs. There's no Toowoomba in the Darling Downs.
It's warm.
Oh, you
Where's
know-
that? The
you know,
Darling.
Toowoomba. Oh yeah, I
Toowoomba.
get you. Yeah.
You'd be embarrassed to say the last bit, mate. Oh, shut up. Actually, what? There's so
Maybe
many.
it's just a bit of genetics around that area.
Yeah, two names, two heads. Like,
Yeah.
no, but how many Australian towns are there that have double named names? Like, there's Gingin. I know of Gingin.
Oh yeah.
So we've got 2 now.
Marmar Creek.
There's probably a lot. They
Marmar
probably just-
Creek.
yeah. I forgot about that one.
That's about it. Good segment.
Yeah. It's all the really
Hold up. If you
small towns that no one really knows about.
were able to name a city, what would you choose to name that city?
Come. Something really weird, but not inappropriate.
Not inappropriate.
That's not inappropriate.
Are you sure?
COME space COME. It'd just be like weird. It'd just be like, oh, that makes sense. Well, it depends. If it's like if you're replacing it with Melbourne, if you're replacing Melbourne with Cum, that sounds weird. But if you're driving like in the middle of like Queensland,
There's
and you
three
see this,
houses and one fence.
yeah, and you see but you're driving and you see this green side that says Cum. It's like that sounds about right. We know where we are.
I know.
Would you ever name your house? Like, you know how people have sometimes done like something manor or
Yeah.
like
You gotta have a lot of pride to name your house. You're either rich or you're a bit crazy. You're like,
Yeah.
There's just
Jerry, I've been talking to Jerry.
pride, or you've just broken your arm jerking yourself off or something. Like,
No.
like a few kilometers away from where I live, like maybe 2 up the road in the bush. There's a property. There's a big sign out the front, and it's the place is called It'll Do. So ITLLDO.
That's clever.
Yeah,
I like
It'll
that.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It gives me a chuckle every time.
Because you never hear about houses that with people's names. You don't hear
Well,
like, this is
Kevin.
yeah, this is Kevin.
It's got a nice inside.
It'd be like Wesley Manor or something.
Yeah, Kevin Manor.
Kevin Manor.
Yeah. Cool. Gabe, you had a topic.
I did. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a topic. We kind of agreed to talk about the topic, but then Josh is just like, "Oh no, we'll just talk about whatever."
no, I said talk about whatever, but if it happens to bubble up during the podcast, which I knew it would, then we'll
Because
talk
you
about
bring it up.
We'll deal with things as they come.
Right,
it's my new.
Let's talk about-
come and go attitude.
Okay, so
Let's talk
I-
about
my
Barnaby
floaty.
Joyce.
floaty.
So
Okay,
Barnaby
wait,
Joyce.
real quick. we're going to
Joyce.
talk about news right now, this is going to come out in like 3 weeks.
It won't
from
come out in
recording
3
it.
weeks. I'll be better than that.
Okay, fine.
What's today? No, okay. Let's go. What's today? The
When
18th
Blake-
of
okay,
February.
Hold him to it. When
Okay, we'll
Blake
talk
says
about
old,
Barnaby
be
Joyce.
better.
I actually have an opinion about this topic. That
You
I
have
think,
an opinion?
No, I know. That
Gabe
I
has
think
an opinion.
is a bit
Write
different
it
from
down.
most.
Okay.
Okay.
You think
So,
that
obviously,
she...
Barnaby Joyce cheated on his wife. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think you shouldn't do that. But I don't give...
You heard it here. You heard it first.
there you go, Gabe.
But it's just funny because I don't give a fuck really about what his personal life is, as long as he's a good politician and it doesn't affect his judgment, which it probably would, but as long as it doesn't affect his judgment, it's not really any of my business. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
It's the fact, though, that he's insulted... In the past, he's insulted women, he's been a sexist, he's been a homophobe kind of thing. So it's more or less he's just a big asshole.
Yeah, well, like,
Yeah.
it's the thing is, it's just that kind of, like, infidelity has become so commonplace that, like, hearing about it first, I was like, well, why do I care? Because everyone does it. But, like, I feel as though if there were some other issues that are still personal that would get him kicked out, you know? Like, and it's like, what,
And if
to
he
what
didn't-
point? But, like,
If he didn't rock the boat so much about the plebiscite,
yeah, but the thing is,
Then-
the other thing is, if he just cheated on his wife, it'd be relatively fine.
Yeah.
But it was because it was with a staffer.
Really, though?
and he
Would it
gave
be
her the job,
No, I
he
just-
gave her all this stuff. Like,
No,
like,
I mean, how many
okay,
politicians... You know Tanya Plibersek?
Oh, yeah. We've known
No.
for years.
Do you know Tanya Plibersek? She's the deputy prime minister on the... she's the deputy...
Really?
She's the deputy shadow prime minister. She's Labour Party's deputy leader. She's amazing.
Oh,
She's
okay.
one of my favourite politicians.
I was going to say,
Her
so
husband-
she's under Barnaby Joyce.
No, her husband is... Well, was in prison for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure. Like, I'm fairly sure.
I wonder what...
And
what
no, I don't know what.
Drive
but
by.
She's like real like good about rehabilitation in prison and stuff, and that's what she like really advocates for, and it's great. But like that kind of thing, like because it has literally nothing to do with the running of the government, it's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with the government, but it's
I hate
because
it
he
when-
kind of
yeah.
crossed a line within the ministerial standards. That's the issue here.
But imagine this. Put this scenario in, okay? 2 years, or maybe a year ago, Barnaby Joyce separates from his wife, okay? That's one red flag of being a bad politician, okay? Kind of.
Why?
You can't see it, but I've got my fingers up. What's this called, Blake?
Quotation marks.
Yeah, I'm being a bad politician, quotation marks. Because I don't think he is.
Is the quotation marks on politician or bad?
bad?
Both.
I'm saying, like, as in...
He's a bad and quotation marks.
hold up,
politician.
let Gabe finish his point, and then it'll make more
Anyway,
sense.
I'm just saying, so if he divorced his wife and then right now he's having his baby with his secretary that he was working with.
Oh, that's right, there's a baby.
Would it be so much, would it actually be better? Because honestly, I think the story would just be as bad kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm saying it's obviously bad that he cheated on his wife, but I don't care because that's his personal life. And I don't think just because he's a politician doesn't mean that we all, like the whole of Australia, needs to kind of give him smack about it.
Well, I think the correct response for all Australians is to send him a box of condoms.
How do you know that he wasn't? It might not have. It could have been prepared.
Okay, good point.
Wait, imagine if you're... Oh, good night, Paul.
Good night.
Good night, Paulie.
Dad?
Paul,
Featuring on the podcast again.
Yet again, he's
the
back.
engineer.
Yeah, we're currently recording.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, that's okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, a bit of stage fright. Oh, the cat's
The
somewhere.
cat's somewhere.
Professor Whiskers.
But yeah,
This cat is
imagine if your dad was Barnaby Joyce,
I
like as in
Like
you
that.
were the kid that
Yeah.
was born, and
Barnaby Joyce has the face of a squash potato. That's the one thing that gets me annoyed. Bye.
Good night,
guys.
mother.
Bye.
have a good one. Oh, bye.
See ya, cat.
Bye, catty cat.
See ya. Yes. Thanks, Mum.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love
See you.
getting
in the morning.
chastised on live radio.
Okay.
Parents
So-
walked in our bottom.
I think we've talked enough about Barnaby Joyce.
Oh.
Wait, no, but
You
just
said
saying.
something about
Imagine
potato.
if your dad.
That's very insulting to potatoes.
Imagine if your dad was Barnaby Joyce. Like, if you were born in that politician media scandal throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing, and
Oh.
you go to school, it's like, oh my god, you're the kid who he cheated on his wife, and it's like that was the circumstance.
You're the kid he cheated on his... Well, Jesus. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Kitty Fiddler.
Yeah. You're like, that's... No. You weren't.
Also, but in other news as well, just to like cover a few little news topics before we move on.
Barnaby Joyce.
The
No,
shooting, the mass shooting.
yeah, there was a shooting. Do you think
That's
this
it, bro.
time do you think this time gun laws will change in America?
No.
Well, it's interesting. I read this thing and it was like they were talking about trying to create this kind of culture of rather than shouting loud about banning the guns because that doesn't work, just shaming people for taking donations from the NRA,
Okay, here's the thing.
the National Rifle
Have you seen
Association.
that? Have you seen that? That segment that John Oliver's done on gun control in Australia versus America.
Yeah.
Really funny, really clever. He interviews this one American politician. Okay, and the first thing he asks is, "What's the best thing a politician can do?" And his first response is being re-elected by his or her constituents. Okay, so that's the worst mindset to have, but that's what American politicians have in their mindset. All they want to do is be re-elected, and Republicans hold the floor in gun ownership, like in their votes. Okay, so if Republicans start to say, no, actually, I think we need to have stricter gun laws, we're going to take these guns away, they're going to get kicked out. They're going to get voted out because the conservatives in America want to keep their guns, kind of basically.
Wait, but that makes sense, like, in terms of, if you think about what a politician is for, they don't have opinions of their own, really. They don't get to. They're just kind of puppets
No, they
for
shouldn't
what
have
the
opinions of
constituents
their own.
want.
But
They're literally supposed to be
They're supposed to,
representatives
yeah.
of the people.
they're supposed to,
Yeah.
but they don't.
But it's like shaped up as this entire like kind of news frenzy where it's just like, oh, this person fought this person in Parliament. It was real heated. Isn't this scandalous? Whoa! And
Yeah.
it's like it kind of makes a mockery of
That's
it.
the thing. Politicians, if anything, they should get such a standard wage that they almost just live just like everyone else.
On the poverty line.
Yeah, the way it should be is that parliamentarians should accept and only be given the average wage.
Yeah,
of their nation.
100%.
Like it should not be overpaid. It's all wrong. It's all flipped wrong. With the shooting thing, it's like I don't know. It's the kind of thing that it's like it's absolutely devastating every time you hear about it. And nothing will change that.
To be honest,
but it's like, well, you know, you're looking at it. It's like, well, how long does it take
For a culture to change.
Yeah, like how long? Like seriously, how long? It was more deadly than Columbine.
It's
It
not just
was.
how long, but how long and what does it take? Because it's not like
This
a
is
time
kids.
question.
This is kids dying.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but this kid's dying happened 10 years ago, you know?
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what?
How
at
often
what
the kid's
magnitude of
dying?
an event does it take? Because it's not about how many kids, it's like what single event could actually change the mind of a conservative gun owner?
Well, it's just
If
that
they shoot their families.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
exactly,
the
right.
thing
They
is,
go
People have such a lack of empathy sometimes.
There's
that-
an NRA conference, and then just
the thing
they
is,
go
it's
in
just
there.
like these people. If you seriously believe that your right to own a gun is more important than the lives of people, or like teenagers in these in these schools and stuff, it's just that's legitimately messed up. You have to actually stop and think about it.
Did you hear
Wait, it makes you
Obama?
wonder. Just a quick point.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder that why hasn't I'm not saying it ever should, but why hasn't an NRA lobbyist or an NRA meeting or something been shot up yet?
That's
it just
what I
seems like
mean,
that's
yeah.
something that would have occurred by now as a
The Dark
kind
Knight
of-
Rises get shot up, but an NRA meeting doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
twisted logic.
let's weigh these two things in. Oh, wait, no,
Why
but the one thing
why are these people so mad at the Joker being in a movie, but they aren't mad
he was
at
being
kids
crazy.
being shot?
He had autism, it was clear. He was shaky before he came in.
God, you're such a dick.
No, it's true.
Also, yeah, actually, So the majority of the people who have
Just to be
shut
clear,
up
I'm not-
schools or whatever.
That was
Wait,
that
the
was
majority-
not me being
sorry,
rude.
no, I know.
That was not me
But
being
a lot
rude.
of the people who have shut up schools and things like that, what have their like mental health situations been?
Yeah.
They haven't been. Okay, here's the thing. People who like mass shooters, okay, they're obviously a bit deranged in some way, but they're not fucked in the head, okay, to the level where they can't comprehend things. They're just like, oh,
No, it's
I gotta
not
kill
like
people,
that.
I gotta kill people.
But it's
just,
like it's more like they just become so.
I think anyone, like that kid who killed all his classmates in Florida, okay, he was just from a bad background, okay, he was troubled kid.
Yeah.
He did not have mental health issues, and I think anyone in his position in Australia, if they had access to a gun, could do the same thing.
Yeah, and
it's just the fact that he had access to.
You got to wonder if it's the culture, if it's the culture within America that's actually creating, like, if these kids are having mental health problems, and if these kids are, like, their options, and I'm using quotation marks here,
Yeah.
they might appear to them, like in Australia, people's options might seem like self-harm or attempting suicide.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always other options, and people should seek help. But what if, like, is it in America? Is that kind of like mental health? If someone's severely depressed or etc., is the third option to take out your violence on another person because it's so accessible? Like it probably just never occurs to Australians.
The
because
one
it's
thing,
a cultural thing.
the one thing I get from mass shootings, like in America, all these terrible things that happen, okay, it just makes me think it's all this massive, it's a horrible thing, but it's just this massive media circus about it. And I think that this is one country in the world, this one first world amazing country in the world. How many terrible things,
happening.
horrible things happen
like,
around the
of
world,
course, 100%.
that we don't
Like
Yeah,
the
but-
that you
media
hear on the news and you go, oh, that's sad,
Yeah.
and then go onto it. But people love to rant about this topic, like on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because it is a first world country.
Yeah,
and
exactly
it is
right.
like they're supposed to be like the
Yeah.
standard.
But then when
setters or
America
whatever.
has actually shat on Afghanistan so hard that it's actually warped the culture to be driven to violence.
No one really talks about that on
no
a
one,
podcast.
yeah.
So no one writes a status.
Yeah,
going,
so-
it's not fair that all these are, like, it's
Everyone,
Yeah.
if you've got 2 hours of your time, watch the documentary Bitter Lake. It'll change your life.
Watch Culture High as well.
Watch Culture High. It's a brilliant documentary. Can I just
about
say,
weed.
Oi, it's so weird talking about culture, right?
Dope.
Shut up.
Talking about culture.
Spliff.
Could you just? You haven't even seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You need
it's a running joke
wait.
that I haven't seen the Culture High. And
He
Josh
needs-
has.
It's not
Gabe
a running
has-
joke.
Oh, it's a running joke
Gabe's
between
seen it
Josh
now.
and
okay.
Gabe liked it, right?
Yeah, it was really good, really
You're not
informative.
in on the running joke.
But can I
It's a
please?
bit of a-
I want
Wait.
to.
Jogging joke.
I want to hear Josh's point.
I
talking
do
of-
it.
Talking about culture, right? It's so weird because when you think about culture, you think about like the Egyptians, ancient Egyptians built the pyramids.
like an
You know,
Egyptian.
like the Aboriginal culture, they were nomadic. They, you know, like people think boomerangs or things like that. If you think about like Italians, you think about like the pizza and the food and the pasta and things like that.
stupid
And it's
Italian.
like yeah. But someone brings up America, it's like, oh, they shoot their kids in schools.
Yeah.
That's part of their culture now.
Football,
That is a pretty.
basketball.
That's an often occurrence.
Yeah.
That's like a 60 something times a year occurrence. That's like more often than the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, no,
This is
you know,
a-
you know
there is-
this shooting.
Yeah.
This shooting was the 18th of the year.
Oh no,
That's
no.
more than there are months.
That is true, but that's actually a bit of like false facts
Wait.
because it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
So that is true. There has been 18 incidents of gun violence in schools,
Yeah.
but of those 18, some of them, like one of them was a bullet was fired into a window at a school.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one was killed.
That's
Yeah.
still.
That's
Oh, it's still
bad.
horrible, but it's just like
Yeah.
I've heard people been saying like
that's
there's
still-
been 18 mass shootings.
That's front page news in Australia,
yeah.
No,
Like,
a bullet
you know
was
what I mean?
fired
Like,
into the
yeah.
front of a school. It's just like, oh, come on.
mate.
You
Didn't hit anyone.
Get over it. Yeah.
But it tore
Just call
through,
call
it,
O'Brien's.
wait, it tore through a copy of Mice and Men, but it didn't hit a kid, so we're fine.
It's
like-
only the education that's falling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should move on. I'd like
Yeah.
to move on to this other topic, unless you've got something to say.
Barnaby
Josh.
Joyce.
No, shut up, Blake. Seriously, you can leave this podcast.
It's similar to Barnaby Joyce, but
It's not at all.
But it's
Gabe-
slight.
opposite.
Gabe won a game of Monopoly the other day, and he's really proud of himself.
It's not just
about
that.
religion.
It's just that I was bankrupt for so long, and then I overcome that with strategy, persistence, hard work.
Through
And
God.
the housing market.
Through God.
Okay, that's a good turning
Oh,
point.
There's a
ready?
segue.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on my rich person wheelie scooter thing and pass it to you. Get it?
Thank you.
It's a Segway.
Segway.
That was a shit joke.
I'm confused. I don't even really properly understand what a Segway is. Oh, I know what it is. I've got it. It's the two-wheeler that you hold.
Yeah.
The two-wheeler, yeah.
If you own a tech startup,
Handlebar.
A tech startup.
Then
if you
you
work
have
at
a Segway.
Apple
yeah,
and you got to move around the offices
Yeah.
to go get your coffee.
yeah, fuck legs,
you've
mate.
got a-
Fuck legs.
I so hope we become like the people in Wall-E one day.
Oh, mate.
I'd love to be a circle, like the shape
Yeah,
of a circle.
yeah.
That's been my fucking
You see,
dream.
you joke, but I'm actually being fully serious. If I didn't have to move and I could just sip things,
Yeah.
there you go.
Really good. Yeah.
Like, no chewing, thank you very much.
How did they poop?
Shitting in a chair.
Do they just poop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Where does
live
it
in
go?
it.
No, it'd be a tube.
Yeah, but do they
A
consciously
constant
poop?
arsehole tube.
Or do they consciously poop?
I wonder how...
I know it's a kids movie,
How do
but
they
how
have
did they
sex?
procreate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did they... Do they just, like come in a cup and then pass it?
No.
No, could they achieve penetration?
I don't know.
I don't want to really talk of the biology of the fat people in Wall-E
Yeah,
having
I do.
sex. No, okay, I want to move on to
So,
religion.
If Eve and Wally wanted to have a baby, how would they do it?
Eve
Through their
is
servants.
actually the name of a
Adam's-
religious figure.
Yes.
Gabe?
Barnaby Joyce.
You know, you were quite serious on wanting to talk about this, Blake.
I'm
but now
sorry.
I'm not.
I'm in a thong throwing mood.
You're in a bit
Have
of
you
a
ever
silly...
explained-
And
No,
wait,
you're
hold
in a
up,
mood.
hold
silly
up.
mood.
Yeah, he's in the thong throwing mood.
Have you
The
ever
thong
explained-
throwing mood is when Blake is like, I feel like fucking up everything around me.
It's always one of
So he
us.
starts throwing thongs. I wish in America they just handed out thongs
So,
instead
no,
of guns.
you explain why it's called a thong throwing mood.
Because one time we were trying to film a TV assignment at school, and we were on the top of a playground.
And then this kid
we all took,
came into the room and he was
my
like,
God.
started throwing thongs. And
You're
everyone was
making-
like, get down, get under the desk. Oh my God.
Stop it.
And then someone took the other kid out with the thong. Like, that's what happens in Australia.
You're taking the story in different directions.
So basically,
basically, we'd all taken off our thongs to get on
He was
the
a thong
playground,
shooter.
and then Blake picked up all the thongs and started throwing them.
so
at us.
apparently there's a look that I get in my eyes.
he does. Yeah, you do.
Okay, cool.
But anyway,
That's a really good photo that you posted on Instagram.
Thank
man.
you.
Everyone go like Gabe's recent photo on Instagram. He's checking the likes
Did you,
on
Wait.
did you like it?
No, I don't use Instagram.
No, I mean, like, do you like the photo?
Oh, yeah. Show me again.
and now for three
Actually, I like that
atheists
photo.
Thank
talking about religion.
Okay, so
Barnaby
I wanna,
Joyce.
I want to start by I've had a rich. Well, I think we should start by saying that
We've all had a rich.
we've all had no. We should start by saying that we have
Can I
we
make
all
a
have
point
the same
before we
opinion.
start?
No, but I think
we-
it's the same point. We all have the same opinion, and I'm very much against religion in general. As a whole, I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a really horrible thing that does a lot of bad in the world. Unless you live in Australia or America or England and stuff. But we have nothing against people who are religious, and I think there are so many good people in the world who are religious.
And also,
and do
we
good things.
like that goes for all of us, but also we are considerate of the fact that we are three atheists talking about religion. None of us have a different perspective. This is literally us on our bandwagon. This is not a debate. This is not a discussion. This is
But
three
also,
people with the
it's
same
not
opinion talking.
like just saying. It's not like we just decided to be part of this bandwagon because like that was the predominant
Yeah.
ideology of our culture and our family. We came to this decision through thought over many
Yeah.
years. Gabe
Also, the
started
other
as
thing
a
is-
Christian for 18 years. My mum's quite religious, and I went to Sunday school as a kid.
I
And-
did RE in grade 1.
Yes, so we've all had a lot of religion,
All different
at
levels.
varying degrees.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, yeah. I hope you've like.
Obviously,
as a
this is
listener-
Christianity,
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
not
yeah.
not you know.
We
some
hate
of
all
the other-
religions.
So like.
No, I was just saying
hope
that's
you
the
guys,
one we
I
were
hope you
raised
guys like the listeners realize that. I mean, after hopefully you've listened to us for a long enough time to know that we don't just shit on things for the fun of it. I mean, sometimes, often.
Oh, I mean,
but,
I would.
Yeah, but we don't just like shit on things because
Sometimes when the toilet's just not my style.
What I'm trying to say,
Go out the back and dig a hole in the garden.
what I'm trying to say is
Find the
that
Bible.
we don't like.
Well,
We're not just haters. Am I right, boys? Is that
No, we're not just haters. We only come to... But we are very critical.
hate us because they anus. Hate us because they anus. Have you seen that? That's from,
No,
the,
I
that's from
haven't.
the interview. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Okay, anyway, how should we start?
I don't know.
That's
You
our
had a
segment of
point.
religion.
It's your segment.
Okay, shut up. It is not my segment.
If this goes to shit, blame Gabe and never get him back again.
Okay, I just want to say, like, a week ago, we were all just sitting around this table, just having a good old chat about our opinion on religion. And Blake's like, we need to talk about this on the podcast.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm in a thong-throwing mood.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, no, so...
Okay, I had a point. So I was watching a video of Fox News in America and this atheist. And basically, the Fox presenter was just being a big asshole to this atheist because this atheist was saying... was just expressing his views publicly, and they got him on the show. And it got me thinking, in primary school, there's all these RE lessons and stuff, and it's not compulsory.
point.
Yeah, it's not compulsory, but you got to do it. But if a man comes in, or a woman comes in, to a grade 1 class and explains all the negative effects on religion that have on children...
No one's gonna...
You're going to be
No one's
like,
gonna sign up.
you're an asshole. You don't get to tell these kids that they can't believe in
Wait,
religion.
so
But
here's
even
my point.
more than that, if someone wanted to come in and be like, I want to talk to these kids about some of the different philosophies in the world, or like, I want to talk to them about all of the different religions, not try and tell them to believe in Jesus, but say, here are some of the different religions that exist, they wouldn't accept it in the curriculum. They wouldn't accept it into the school.
And here's the thing.
People have such a tough time with like any religion that's not Christianity
I made
ever
a-
being near a school.
Yeah.
I made a joke about it earlier, but I did... my parents were like... They thought that for educational purposes, it would be like good for me to go do RE so I can get that kind of perspective. They thought they'd give me that kind of perspective. And I guess my interest in religion kind of came from that. I'm like I'm super interested in religion. I know a lot about different religions. I think the three of us are the same. And I'm also into secular philosophy. But I'm
into priests.
I remember in grade
And
Get
priests
me
are
going,
into-
always have.
Can I just tell my story?
I was 6 the first time.
In grade 1, there was a religion teacher that came in, and she told us that if we believed in God, we would never die, and we would live forever. And I was like, I don't want to die. Like I believe in God.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how they present it to kids.
I believe in I believe in God. It's what? Eternal life? I was like 6. Telling a 6-year-old, introducing a 6-year-old to the concept of death alongside the concept of everlasting life if you believe in something.
When I was 6, I was still confused of how cars worked. Like, these things moved. And then there's God about hell. Yeah.
So, like, and that's the other thing. When you're 6, there's probably a lot of things you believe in that shouldn't really carry with you.
Nah. Your brain's like...
I
your brain's
remember-
like a sponge.
And when I was
it just
younger,
scared me, right? It scared me. And for a long time, I genuinely believed in God because it scared me into believing it.
I have a memory of trying to pray
Yeah, me
and
too.
feeling guilty that I was doing it wrong or whatever, and being bored during it because like God would never talk back, and I was like,
Fucking
I feel
God.
so bored because I feel like I'm just talking to myself, but I feel guilty that I'm not feeling this like everlasting love flowing through me and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but I very quickly figured out that it was all bullshit because
Because he didn't talk back.
No, yeah.
You were like, I've been praying for 6 days and 6 nights consistently.
Ring.
He's not talking back.
When someone doesn't reply to you on Messenger, do you double, triple text them? Or do you think, look, they're
not
probably
real.
an asshole?
They're not
They
real.
don't exist.
They don't exist.
This person that I
He's
know in my
fake.
life is just not a real person.
Joe's... Yeah.
Oh, actually, can I
Joe's
just
not
say,
real.
you know how people are like, they have this metaphor and it's just like, if you need to see the sun to believe in it, you'll never, when it's a cloudy day, you'll just freak out because there's no sun there or whatever. It's just like, you'll just forget that it's there.
It's such a shit metaphor.
No, you know that
No, I'm
metaphor.
really
No, as in like,
I thought you were going to be like, if you have to see the sun, you got to go outside. I'm like...
no, they use that metaphor in Star Wars. It's just like, if you need to see the sun to believe in it, you'll never survive through the night, right? It's that kind of metaphor of like, but it's like, No, that's not how. It's not like you have to have faith in the sun. That's something that I've definitely seen.
You
and
just
know
gotta wait
exists.
like 12 hours
Yeah,
and it'll be there.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what?
Yeah.
I've been waiting how many years?
Yeah,
For God.
Like the last time I remember praying was I had an operation when I was 9 years old, and I prayed before it because I was like because I remember seeing on a current affair, thanks to current affair, that some woman woke up in the middle of her operation because her anesthetic wore off. And I remember seeing it like a month before I had my operation, and then
Thanks, Tracy Grimshaw.
yeah, I was scared about it, so I prayed to God. I was like, please don't let me wake up in the middle of my operation, and I didn't.
Oh,
so God
fuck.
is real.
God is real. Wait, the last time I prayed, Josh, was when we went to Coldplay.
Really?
And and we were coming back in the car.
Oh, and
it
he was speeding.
and it was raining.
And he was speeding.
Yeah.
Did you pray to not die?
No, I was actually genuinely a bit scared
Yeah.
because it was fucking bucketing down. Okay,
It was,
and we're
the
in this,
cars kept skidding out and the wheels.
and we're on
we
this-
weren't driving.
No, we weren't driving, but we're in this tiny yellow car, this tiny Hyundai.
Jesus.
Okay, and it was fucking belting.
Who's driving? I'll bleep
No,
it.
we're not saying.
I'll bleep
And
it. I'll
no,
bleep it. Okay.
And yeah, I was kind of scared because at points it was like 120, and I was
No,
like,
it was like 130.
yeah,
at
at
points.
some, and so I'm just like,
and because he was angry as well.
no, he wasn't.
No, he was a bit angry. At the end, when we were coming back, I like gave the right direction for the house, but then I assumed he'd heard it, and then right when he was getting close to it, it was a T intersection, so there was only one way to go, which was left. He was like, wait, so which way was it? And I was like, right, as a joke, because it's just like, what, you think you can go right here? And then he started going right, and I'm like, dude, it was fucking left. I said that earlier, and he's just like, what the fuck? He got really mad at me, and I was like, oh shit, I feel
Oh,
really
really? I
bad
can't
for
really-
that.
I just remember-
And I was like, sorry for saying that
What if
joke,
this
and he's like,
person
yeah,
listens to the podcast?
you picked the right time. He is guaranteed, actually, shit.
No,
Hey, no,
I was just
I love
about to
him.
say,
I love
yeah, I
the
was just
dude.
about to say this.
It was like
this is
the
actually a good
situation-
friend of ours.
Yeah.
It's just
The situation just wasn't.
we're not shitting on this person. He's a good friend of ours.
But it was a scary
It was a
situation.
scary situation. And that was the last time I prayed, and I almost like pity prayed. Like, I've got fucking nothing else.
Yeah.
I gotta hold on to what I've got right now.
Great.
Yeah, and I was like, God, get me through this night.
There's this. I've seen this interview. You know Piers Morgan.
Oh,
he's the like he's a.
I've seen Jim Jeffries flip it more.
Yeah,
It
he's-
was the most
he loves
satisfying
to.
thing
He loves
ever.
to suck Donald Trump's
You
dick.
know Piers Morgan.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, he's like a commentator in England, and there was this interview that he had with an atheist, and I think it might have been Richard Dawkins. Can't remember. And he was just like, "So what happens after I die?" And he's like, "You die." And he's like,
No,
But I don't-
But it was no, it was with Ricky Gervais. I've seen this interview.
"Oh, really?"
Yeah.
It's like, "I don't want that." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, but it's what you get."
Yeah,
It's like,
not
but
about what you
why
want.
would I want to believe that? And he's like, well, why would you want to believe, that like you get more after your life when you can just live your life?
I
And
know.
it's just like, and that's an argument that a lot of people use, that it's like, well,
Yeah, but
why
it's
would
so
I?
depressing.
Well, yeah,
if
it's
death
so
is the last
depressing.
thing.
Like, how can you? It's so
There's
depressing.
nothing more than this. It's like, this is a lot, actually. You're a functioning human. You could have been born a fucking ant.
Yeah,
I get less like when I realized the truth. No, I just didn't feel any care whatsoever. Like in death, like I'm just like,
I actually started murdering people because there was no moral
yeah,
compass.
yeah,
Yeah.
Without an omnipresent, without the fear of something looking at me all the time, I just
fucking.
I just did everything.
Yeah.
I just
Wait,
wouldn't stop.
If
like,
God is always watching,
committing crimes.
does that mean he's a bit of a perv?
It's like Santa.
Does he look away?
Yeah, when
I'm
you're
naked?
taking a piss. Like,
Yeah.
come on, God.
It's kind of like when you're in the urinal and you're using it, and then there's like your mate's peeing, and you go, "Oh, there we go. I've seen it. Maybe that's God. Maybe he takes a peek and he's like looks
Maybe
away.
he's-
Oh,
No,
dick
I've
is
got to
gone.
say, wait,
No.
it's more like this. You're going for a piss, but there's a security guard in the toilet, and then he comes, stands over your shoulder, and holds you while you're peeing, and tells you you have to be okay with
And then
that.
goes puts all these AIDS in Africa.
Yeah.
It doesn't help them out.
It's a
And,
great
like,
metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, religion kind of is the driving force for a lot of bad things that happen in the world.
But if
Don't get us started on Mother Teresa.
if you live in I actually don't know too much about her.
Oh, get Sam started on Mother Teresa.
I know. Oh, I know. But anyway, if you live in, like I said before, if you live in Australia or America or England, and you want to be a Christian, that is fine. You've got the life prepared. God looks after you in these countries, okay? But if
looks
you're
after us by giving us giant churches and
but
big
unfortunately,
houses.
if you live in some African countries,
He looks
Not
after
gonna
us
cut it.
by
Yeah,
giving us
cut it.
dirty
He just-
water.
He has
and
a budget
AIDS.
too.
he forgets.
Yeah.
He forgets about you.
And
it sucks.
He splashed on the white
sucks.
people, and now he's got just 50 cents left
Yeah.
for all the Africans.
God is like the worst parent because he does pick favorites.
Yeah.
I know.
I reckon. And
He forgot the middle child, and that middle child
But
was an entire continent.
guys, men, boys, we are forgetting that he is doing this because we have sinned.
Oh, true.
Oh,
I never. Okay.
shit.
To this day,
I'm sorry I ate that fruit.
Wait,
I
I
don't
should-
remember it.
I should give a bit of backstory on my
Yeah,
past.
we should all give some backstory.
Yeah. So basically, I was brought up a Christian by my mother. My father is not a Christian, but he's always respected my mum's views, which everyone should.
Everyone should respect Gabe's
So-
mum's views.
Yeah. Well, you should. Shut up. Well, anyway. And so yeah, I was a Christian. I went to youth group. I went to church on a Sunday. I had some friends. I still do have friends in church and everything. And about at the end of grade 12, or through grade 12, I had a bit of doubts. I was like, this is a bit picky. But the reason I kind of never
This God thing seems a
transferred.
little bit bullshit.
Yeah.
Reason he never transferred.
Yeah.
Switch schools.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm actually this is my letter of transfer. I'm going to Buddhism.
Yeah, Buddhism. I put in a letter of resignation.
Yeah.
No, but I'd always kind of debate with Sam and Josh about things, but I'd never really properly listen because there was a bit of pride involved. Like I didn't want to be wrong because this is a big deal. Like this is kind of a if you're wrong about this shit.
This isn't just a bet on who's
Yeah.
going to win the footy. This
Like-
is like the
This
meaning
is,
of life.
If I'm wrong,
Life and
I
death.
burn in hell forever. Like the wages were high,
Yeah.
so I really had to do a lot of research. And anyway, I remember the time exactly. It was like in March, and I was watching,
2017.
2017. I was watching Ricky Gervais talk about religion, and I've always respected Ricky Gervais heaps. And he was just bringing up all these points, and I was just like, "Yep, I don't believe in God anymore. This is not true."
It was the specific point that he made. Do you want to talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that
it was
one?
a specific point.
Really good point.
Yeah, and it was a specific point. And it's like, if you're born in America, you're most likely a Christian. If you're born in India, you're most likely a Hindu. Yep. If you're born in China, you're most likely a Buddhist, a monk. So it's just like it, and it kind of
How funny is that? You're
know,
always
right?
born into the right
you're always
religion.
born into the right religion.
That's
Well,
his quote.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like this whole thing of like, well, if I believe in God and I'm right, then I get heaven. But if I believe in God and I'm wrong, I die. But if you believe, like, if an atheist believes in like, if doesn't believe in God and they're right, they die, just like me. You know, like there's that.
Oh, there's
argument
that.
of, like,
Yeah, the Pascal's wager. It's
Yeah.
like you've got nothing to lose,
yeah.
except your critical faculties. But basically, this argument got brought up recently. Gabe and I watched this thing. This dude speak at a church. Well, he kind of spoke through video, but he had a bunch of really good points. He was talking about how science.
Or was it a video conference?
Yeah, but he was talking about science a lot and talking about how you can still agree with science and believe in it and believe in religion. Like they don't have to be against each other. They can live together, coincide each other. And he brought up a bunch of really good points about some really existential topics about how this universe is even here and if it could have a creator or something. And it's like, those are all really good points. And it's like, who knows? We could have a creator, but you can't jump from the point of, I don't know, we might not.
Yeah.
It's a fair point, fair argument, to Jesus really prefers it if you don't work on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like that's a really
Or the-
hard gap
yeah.
to jump to.
Like, and-
you have to
yeah.
be really good at
And
long jump
we-
to get to there.
we
It's like,
had this conversation because I can have the exact same opinion, and I guess I do to a point where it's like science explains so much, and the gap that science hasn't explained, I'm putting down to the wonders of science, the mystery of the universe, and maybe there's something out there, maybe there's something else, but I don't think, I refuse to believe that any human being knows what that something is.
and people don't like things going unanswered. people just can't deal with the fact
what's
that
wrong
it's like
with mystery?
we just don't know, and that's fine.
Yeah. Wait, how many times have you seen an unsolved mystery on TV?
Yeah, never.
Don't come back next week for this mystery that's not going to be solved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
and
it's like this thing
it's a point that I made of there's a TV show called The Good Place.
The Good Wife. Such a strong actor.
The Good Place, and it's basically, long story short, it's about a woman who dies and goes to heaven, or the good place. And when she gets there, she asks the guy who like meets her there, so who was right? And then he was like, oh, everyone was a little bit right. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, they're all about 5% right. But there was this one stoner, and he got really stoned one time and was talking to his mate, and he got 98% right. Look, that's him over there, and points to like a photo of him. And he's like, and down the bottom it says like, closest guest. Yeah, closest guest. And it was like, you know, he was big in heaven because he nailed it. And it's like funny because like, yeah, there might be one person or three people sitting around the table being like, guys, this is it. Like, I've actually got it. But no one would know because you can't beat Christianity.
Yeah.
Or you can't beat Islam.
I know, right? You can't. And it sucks. But
also, like, that's the thing. You know how you said earlier, it's just like you often wouldn't listen to when atheists would bring up some points because it was a pride thing, because there was so much at stake.
Well, it's not just like, it's kind of like you grow up, like, for me, I grew up in a church environment. Like, I've known people in the church, pastors, since I was like 8 years old. So it's a bit hard to deal with like really good points.
Well,
and the only way to
your whole culture.
Yeah, the only way to justify itself is by your own faith.
Yeah, you have to say, I have faith. Yeah.
You have to say, God has done this. Like, it's fine, kind of thing. But like, when you think about it, dinosaurs just fuck up everything. No, seriously, they do.
I know.
Like, if you want to be logical, if you want to be from a religious standpoint, if you want to be logical about things, how do dinosaurs fit in? Because dinosaurs were they were never ever mentioned. They mention animals plenty of times in the Bible.
But
they
never
mention
dinosaurs. Mega animals.
Never mega animals.
Never literally any.
But
any
the answer to that,
anything being bigger than human or more powerful than human, which dinosaurs certainly are.
Yeah.
And Adam and Eve were first, then came the animals.
Dude.
Like,
but the answer to that, though, they're always like, well, look, they aren't meant to be taken literally, the stories in the Bible, and you should really just focus on the New Testament. But if you read the Bible, it wasn't written to be taken as a metaphor. Like, it was written literally.
Yeah, exactly.
It was written so, like, the way it was written. And also, people who say, ignore the Old Testament, it's just about the New Testament. It's like,
that's not true.
What God would write the first...
the point they're making...
What God would be like,
like
geez, here's all these rules. It's like, oh, fuck, I'm God. I get everything right, but fuck, I fucked up that last time.
It's like when you're handing in your assignment, your assignment at school, you've got to hand in the cover page, and then you put your draft underneath. You put your final first, and then you draft underneath.
We should really be listening to the second one's the shit one.
Exactly.
Look, the thing is, historically, if you look at it, the Jewish people follow the Torah or the Tanakh, which is the Tanakh is essentially the Tanakh is the Old Testament. Right, and that's all they follow. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So that's why they're kind of a little bit more strict than Christians. And Christianity...
That's why they have to cut this...
Look, Christianity is supposedly... Well, Christianity is a updated version of Judaism. That's the whole thing with Jesus. Jesus came...
He changed a lot.
The Jewish people are still waiting for the Messiah. Yeah. When Jesus came, it was split.
There was a lot of...
Half of them were like... You're not the Messiah. The other half were, you are the Messiah. Let's follow you. Split in the religion, and Christianity was born. Of course, Christians are going to say ignore the Old Testament because if they follow it too much, they're Jewish.
You know, there were so many different messiahs before Jesus. Like, as in and around Jesus' time, there were so many different messiahs.
They were really popular at that time.
They were.
Well, look,
it was like a new fashion sense. It's like, new messiahs come out from blah-de-blah.
This one's got long hair.
This one's got long hair. New fashion.
It just like
talking about messiahs though, like Muhammad was a messiah, but he was a little bit more scary than Jesus.
Yeah.
He started like waging war on a bunch of people and conquering shit.
His first wife
I
was
kinda
9 years old.
I kind of like what Jesus was about a little bit more than what Muhammad did. Not to be like, but like he's a hippie. He liked a bit of grass on a Sunday afternoon.
Probably.
Liked to have a bit of
Wouldn't
a
be
rest.
surprised.
Good long hair.
You know
good beard.
they reckon that whole like frankincense and myrrh shit was actually like they actually smoked stuff like that. They actually like had like natural hallucinogenics.
Wait, speaking of frankincense and myrrh, I've said this to Josh before. I think it's a bit shit on the king's part. Okay, when Jesus was born, these 3 kings. One of them bought him spice, one of them bought him perfume, and the other one fucking gold, okay?
Yeah.
Like, if you show up to a party, you invite your 3 mates, one of them brings you
Like
some links, one of them brings you some nice pepper, and the other one buys you a Kia, okay? Which presents, like, you don't go, they're all equally great.
Let's sing about all
Yeah.
of them in the same song.
Mary and Joseph were going, fuck, I love this guy on the left. Like, we're going to get a nice place by the beach, plenty of land.
Yeah, fuck.
And the other
That's
one's like,
kind of
the other one's
stupid.
like, you will smell nice.
Yeah.
He will smell
But
nice.
at least we got
forever.
some spice to go with our food.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, you piece of shit.
Yeah, look, religion.
This has kind of been
Barnaby Joyce.
we've been so like light. This is like a
This is the most we've ever talked about, and like this is not scratching the fucking surface.
no. But this is kind of like our really, really low level talking on religion. Because we're pretty brutal.
I mean, like,
the
thing is,
should we leave it there and come back?
We should probably come back in another episode.
I'd
Don't
like
want
to
to
talk
make
about
this too long.
specific points.
Yeah, same.
Because we've kind of just thrown a lot out there.
Wait, but also, I would like to talk about not just Christianity. The thing is, talking about Christianity, that's just the one that's relevant to us because it's in our culture a lot and it grinds our gears. But Islam, isn't that a hot topic? Everyone's like, there's a lot of shit that happens with Muslims and it shouldn't, it's bad. But because of that, when people come to defend Muslims, they often defend Islam as well, saying, but it's such a peaceful religion.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't read the Quran, have
Yeah.
you? You don't really know what it's
But the
about.
Bible's just as bad.
It's always
I know.
okay to hate an idea. It's
Yeah,
never okay.
it's
to
never
hate
okay to hate people. The Bible, and like the thing is, if I wrote a book, here's a point I often bring up. If I wrote a book today that was anything like the Bible or the Quran, I'd probably be put in jail. No publisher would publish it. If I put in like stone women on their wedding night if they aren't a virgin, fuck, I'm gone.
Take
Like,
that to the publisher.
No one's going to be like, you know what, Josh, you brought up a really good point here.
Yeah.
Imagine
such a good
pitching
idea.
that to Shark Tank. Like, you'll see what they say there.
Yeah.
We're taking $200,000.
Taking 5%. Yeah.
And the
Wait, I
toe
was
of
just
every
about to
woman
s-
that you stone.
I was about to say something, but I forgot.
That's great. Good way to end it.
No.
You guys want to end it?
Fuck you. No, I don't want to end it. I want to come back to this point.
I need
that
a
had in my
pee
head.
so bad.
You can wait. You have been moving. You have been doing the little pee move with your leg.
The
up
pee
and down.
jiggle.
Look,
The
you
pee
guys
jiggle.
can keep going. I'm going to go pee.
No,
No.
I feel like we should cap it. Like, podcasts have been getting a bit long. We should cap them.
Apologies.
But we have so much more to talk about with religion. We could actually say, here's where we're ending, and then keep talking and put it in a different podcast.
No, I don't like doing that because
Okay.
I'd rather we plan out. Because,
Yeah,
like we said,
we'll write
there's so
some
many.
points.
Yeah,
We'll write some points.
We
We'll
should
come
write
back
some
in.
points.
We're going to do a
Actually,
religion special.
it'd be really good though if anyone like could let us know what you'd like us to talk about when it comes down to religion.
Yeah.
Also,
Send us an email.
before we finish
Josh and
up,
Blake Late Night Show
Oh,
at gmail.com.
please send us emails. But just before we go, I'd like to just say a little movie recommendation. I feel like we should always end off with like a recommendation on a piece of art you should see. The Meyerowitz stories on Netflix. Amazing.
Noah Baumbach.
Yeah, amazing movie. Has Adam Sandler star in it, and he's great. Like, genuinely
Adam
so
Sandler
good.
is a terrific actor, a shit writer. And the problem is he writes his own stuff.
But genuinely, watch that movie.
I don't
There's
think
this
he's that
girl.
bad
Wait,
writer.
there's
I think
this
he's
girl.
He's awful.
There's this girl called Grace Van Patten in it,
Yeah.
who is like this rising young actor who's been in like 2 Netflix things now. She's amazing. The movie was amazing, so unique. I haven't seen anything like it. I would definitely recommend it. Blake, do you have?
Yeah, like I said earlier in the podcast, go track down the documentary by Adam Curtis called Bitter Lake. It's an exploration of the war in Afghanistan and how it was caused inadvertently by American influence. And like, this is something that we always knew, but the way it lays it out is not sensationalist. Like, it's not Michael Moore in the sense that like every single like 5 minutes you get like a wow moment. It's really well done. There's some calm moments where he literally just shows war footage of like...
That's calm?
No, calm moments where he's showing like footage from a camera with this guy, and he's got his rifle, and there's a bird just sitting on the rifle. And like, for seemingly no reason, but it paints this beautiful picture of... Well, it paints a beautiful picture of a horrible thing. I should definitely check it out. Not enough people have seen it. Thanks to the person who recommended it to me for recommending it. You know who you are.
Gabe, what's your recommendation?
Well, I've seen a lot of movies. Josh and I watched... I'm into documentaries as well. I'm a big Michael Moore fan, but we watched this documentary called Culture High.
Okay, so thank you all for listening.
Wait, why are you cutting me off?
Such an arsehole.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, real quick. Yeah, I was like, what? No, I watched this. We watched this documentary called Culture, the Culture High.
Yeah, the Culture High.
The Culture High, and it was really, really interesting.
On
Whatever opinion you've got on marijuana, I think it's definitely a good idea to just have a watch of it, because these are like it brings up all these like professionals and stuff that I didn't even know. Like, it talks about schizophrenia and like the links and how it talks about addiction and everything. It's just stuff that I think
they address a lot of the myths and preconceptions of it, and then kind of counter argue it. And they also bring up the counter arguments to weed. And then,
but it's not just a biased point of view. It's very much like
really intelligent.
Yeah, really intelligently made. But if you like documentaries, I'd recommend that one.
Cool,
nice,
awesome.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening to the podcast. As we said earlier, email us at the Josh and Blake Late Night Show at gmail.com
for any suggestions.
Like us on Facebook, all that stuff.
We will respond.
Yeah,
to emails.
we will respond. Like, we will.
Have we responded
to emails? Yeah, we have.
Okay,
I respond to all of them.
Nice.
We should get on Spotify.
We're trying very hard to get on Spotify. It's a very difficult process, but we will let you know as soon as we get there. So, thanks all for listening.
Yeah,
and I hope you had a good time and you continue to have good times.
Catch you later on the Josh and Blake Late Night Show, which occasionally, but more or less, features Gabe.
That name's going to change it every time.
That's horrible.
See you later.
Bye.